Before starting questions and answer, I would recommend without skip, please watch the video till the end, because for you I have 3 bonus questions that I'll share at the end of these sessions. So without further delay, let's start with question 1. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. You are watching on Tech Talk, Grow Together, Success Together. So today I am launching one of the interview question answers, which is really helpful for the BA role if you are applying for BA position in 2026. So also, if you are looking for any interview question on the Veeva product or Veeva application related, I already have couple of interview question answer sessions, recorded session that I can share the link in the description section. Feel free to watch that recording. Okay. So without further delay, let's get started. So today I just wanted to talk about Veeva BA question answers. Definitely Veeva BA. So with that name, you understand that this video is designed for the business analyst with the focus on the Veeva Vault, right? So it covers real interview question and answer specifically for BA role, and it includes the content like requirement gathering, functional specification, SDLC process, CSVs, so some scenario based questions for BA. Now specifically, this content is intended for the educational purpose, and as I said, I share the questions based on my knowledge and experience for professionals who are preparing for the BA role in life science and pharma IT. Now, for starting questions and answer, I would recommend without skip, please watch the video till the end, because for you I have 3 bonus questions that I'll share at the end of these sessions. So without further delay, let's start with question 1. How do you act as a bridge between IT and different stakeholder teams? The answer would be, I translate business requirement from multiple stakeholder into system configuration or technical solution. This involves multiple workshop, writing URLs, mapping to system capabilities, ensuring alignment during UAT, and support the validation team member. So these are the activity you have to perform as a BA. How do you handle conflicting requirement from business stakeholder? This is the most common questions for a BA role. Now, your answer should be that prioritize based on compliance risk, business impact and timeline, conduct stakeholder alignment meeting, use impact analysis, and document decision formally, escalate if anything goes wrong, right? Now, question 3. Now, explain your experience with SDLC in regulated environment. So as part of SDLC process, you have to understand the initiation, planning phase, testing phase, deployment phase, implementation phase, so that you have to be understand on, and each phase what process you have to be completed, that also you should know. So requirement, one of the deliverable, configuration support, one of the deliverable, validation team support, also one of the deliverable, and also the last deliverable is deployment and support. So this you have to be performed. Now question 4, how is SDLC different in GXP system? Definitely GXP means it's a document heavy, so you have to have all the traceability, all the document on time, all the gateway you have to be performed before process to the next phase of the SDLC process, right? And also it's a strict change control, everything have to be documented, mandatory validation, because it impact the patient and safety. So always consider this, right? Now, what deliverable do you create in each SDLC phase? So requirement phase, you have to prepare the URLs, design phase, you have to be support the functional specification, configuration specification. You have to, in the testing phase, you have to be support the test script, test summary report. And validation side, you have to be maintain the RTM, you have to be support the validation plan. And deployment, you have to be support the release note. So these are the deliverable client is expecting from you, right? And question 6, what is your experience with Veeva Quality Vault? Now, this question is variable. Why I'm saying variable? Because it might be REAM, it might be format, it might be quality. So the interviewer will expect at least some of the Veeva application you should aware of, right? Let's say for QMS, what part, let's say deviations, kappa, change control, complaint, what part you familiar with? Do you know any workflow? Do you know business process? That is very much important. So I would suggest at least understand a module, business process, that will help you to coordinate with the team better way, right? Now question 7, explain a typical change control workflow in Veeva. So definitely initiation, impact assessment, approval, implementation, closure. So these are the typical process of a change control, right? Now question 8, what is computer system validation? So CSV ensures system are fit for intended use and comply with the regulatory requirement like GXP. So this is the typical answer for CSV, but on your understanding, let's say for 21 CFR Part 11 as per FDA guideline, as per ICH Q9, or as per Annex, as per GAM category, what you have to be follow, that you have to be maintain throughout all the SDLC process, right? So that you have to be aware of. Now, what are the key CSV document, right? Validation plan, URS, risk impact assessment, IQ, OQ, PQ, RTM, validation summary report. These are the typical deliverable for the CSV document. Why you need to be know? Because you have to be support the validation team. Now, question 10, difference between IQ, OQ and PQ. Installation qualification, operational qualification and UAT, right? Now, this installation qualification, what does that mean? So as a Veeva, from Veeva or from vendor, you will get the config report, you will get the compare report, you will get the deployment checklist, you will get all the deliverable, all the validated report from the vendor that you have to be attached as part of IQ, and make sure that the Veeva application installed correctly, right? So that is a check. You have to be perform or support, not perform, support. Now, operational qualification at large, just basic sanity check you have to be perform on that based on the requirement system is working fine. Now, UAT is totally business user test based on the business scenario with the mostly with the demo data. Definitely the check should be a real world check, right? So that check by the business user, and you have to be coordinate that. Now, question 11, how do you gather business requirements? So you have to be conduct workshop, you have to be take some one-to-one session with the different stakeholder team, you have to be take the process mapping, you have to be understand the old SOPs, so that you have to be do. And how do you ensure requirement are complete? So you have to be validated with stakeholder to check that the requirement is based on that their requirement is satisfied or not, whatever you prepared, right? You have to be support the maintain RTM in the time of UAT, or the after UAT you also have to be maintain the RTM, requirement traceability matrix. Now, how do you identify system improvement? So you have to be get the feedback from the user, you have to be coordinate with them on the process time, you have to be coordinate with them during informal testing, and also you have to be understand that if there are any process inefficiency or not. If there are any, and if the timeline is closed, then definitely that item will be parked for the next phase or enhancement phase, right? So these are the key process you have to be understand on. How do you manage multiple enhancements? So definitely it depend on the priority, it depend on the business impact, it depend on the how critical it is, and you have to be regular sync with the stakeholder, you have to be follow agile approach or hybrid approach, whatever it makes sense to your team, that you have to be understand that you have to be follow on. Now, question 15, what tools you have used? So far what are the tools is need to get your job done, that you have to be explain with the interviewer. Now, question 16, if a deviation workflow fails during audit, what will do? You have to be think what support you will do at the critical time, immediate fix, workaround, and what else you will support, right? You have to be perform you document a deviation or create a defect, when you have to be understand on what is the root cause, so that you have to be support for, and definitely you have to be coordinate the development team and the testing team. Now, question 17, business want a feature not supported by Veeva, what will do? So you have to be think on the workaround, or if that is maintained not in Veeva, then through procedural approach you have to be follow that what approach then user will take and come at least satisfy their requirement, suggest process change, raise enhancement request to the vendor, that if in the near future if Veeva releases, then that will be solved, right? So then that also one of the consideration. Now, question 8, how do you ensure compliance during system change? So follow change control, perform impact assessment, execute validation testing, update documentation, that you have to be maintained on. Now, question 19, how do you defend your system is an audit? Show validation document, you have to be showcase the RTM traceability matrix, you have to be provide the audit trail, all you have to be ready with. Now, what if auditor find missing test evidence? So you have to be acknowledge the gap, you have to be find the retrospective assessment, periodic review have to be done, and you have to be find a better way to manage and make sure that you have document deviation and implement kappa for the near future. Now, bonus question, how do you ensure the data integrity? How do you handle conflict among multiple stakeholders as a business analyst? And when there are multiple options for, let's say, one fix in Veeva, how do you decide which one to implement? And definitely it's a chaotic situation, so especially when user have different differing opinion. So these are the bonus question. I would expect that you share the answer in the comment section, and if you still have some doubt, feel free to reach out to me, I'll help you out. Thank you, see you soon, bye for now. And before leaving, just wanted to be summarize that why this video is important. because if you are preparing for the business analyst role in Veeva or Pharma IT, this video cover real interview questions you will actually face. So stay tuned, and definitely well done, and thank you for stay tuned. Okay, bye for now. See you soon.